If I can do this, then you can do that, but I don't dance.
Hi everybody and welcome back to our mini apartment series.
Two-part series.
Part 2 out of 2. My name is Ida and this is
Silvia.
That's sexual.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off where we left off last week. Let me introduce to you our first own apartment in Korea. Technically speaking, this apartment is actually 2 apartments. This was a really old building. The first and second floors were just normal apartments, but then the third floor was split into 2 apartments. It wasn't 1 rooms, but it was just 2 very small apartments. Our friend actually bought or rented or whatever these 2 smaller apartments, and he intended to use them for Airbnb and stuff. He told us that we could live in the left one without having to pay key money if we helped renovating. So we were like, yeah, of course! Key money is usually a couple of million won, which we didn't have at the time. And I mean, renovating, sure, like we're gonna fix our own house, sounds great, you know? And then we get there and we actually saw the apartment and we were like, oh no, what have we done? The state of the apartment was really bad in the beginning, but we, you know, painted the walls and cleaned the floors and painted the ceiling. In the end, our living room, bedroom area looked okay, I guess. Bathroom and kitchen kind of looked like it did in the previous pictures. Sadly, we don't have any pictures of how it turned out, but
It wasn't very different, it was just new paint on the
yeah. We only had 1 bed. It was like 120 centimeters wide that we had to share for 3 months, I guess, that we lived there. That was nice and cozy, I guess. And then the floor was just covered with our bags, and we had like 1 bookshelf where we put all of our shoes because we didn't want to keep our like high heels out in the kitchen area. Because moving on to the next section, the kitchen was full of cockroaches. Yay! In Sweden we don't really have cockroaches, and they sure didn't have them at the dorms. This was our first time actually encountering cockroaches.
face to face with a cockroach.
So we didn't know how to deal with them. So we started looking up online because we didn't want to like kill them because we were both kind of squeamish with bugs. Like, you don't like them alive, I don't like them dead. So
I don't like them in any state. And also we had heard that if you kill a cockroach, they will attract her.
Like, I don't know, burn them or something, I don't know.
They're vampires.
We have to stake them through the heart. Basically what we started doing was I became great at catching cockroaches in like cereal boxes and stuff. So I would just catch them and like trap them inside. And I would take them to a rooftop and just like throw them out. I'm pretty sure they just like kind of went back in. I'm just like, damn it! There are these bay leaves that supposedly keep cockroaches away. So we were like, okay, let's go find some bay leaves. We walked down to this foreigner mart. They didn't have fresh ones, it was just like the dried up ones. So we were like, well, it's better than nothing. We buy them and then we go back to the apartment and we sprinkle them in all the cupboards in the kitchen. It didn't work. To clarify, the cockroaches were only in the kitchen. They were not in the bedroom, they were not in the bathroom. It was only in this goddamn kitchen. We didn't have an actual stove, but we have one of those electric like cooking plates thingies. You just plug it into the wall basically. We just put that in our room and we would boil our noodles on the floor in our bedroom. Obviously it worked out.
In retrospect.
Yeah, looking back, it was fun. After like a month or something, we started having these really big like spider webs in the kitchen, and Silvia really hated spiders as well. She was like, no, we have cockroaches and spiders. And I was like, no, spiders are good because, you know, soon it's gonna be summer, we're gonna have flies, whatever, so just keep the spiders. And then one day when we walk out into the kitchen, we see a cockroach trapped in this spider web, and from that day on,
Silvia was no longer afraid of spiders. Spiders are friends.
We knew this was just a temporary home Like this was just for the last 3 months of us studying, and then we would go back to Sweden, and like we weren't very invested in this apartment, which is why we're just like whatever. So after 3 months we moved out of this apartment and we moved back to Sweden. Like 2.5 months later we were back in Korea. Since we didn't have anywhere to go, our friend offered us to stay in this second apartment,
which he had renovated.
Yes. During the time when we were gone, he had already fixed that apartment, so it was all nice. Still no key money since we had fixed the first one, and we just moved straight in. Something you might have noticed is that the layout of this apartment is very interesting. The first room when you open the front door is the kitchen slash shower room. So there's a sink and there's a shower, and that's it. To the right, you have the bathroom, which is a toilet. The door to this bathroom only reached about to my shoulder. It was a tiny, tiny door. I would have to duck through it to get in, and then the entire bathroom was only as tall as I was. Like if I stood up straight, my head would be like right below the ceiling, because this toilet room was underneath the staircase leading up to the rooftop. So it was a very, very, very tiny bathroom. It looked like, if you've ever played The Sims, you know when you place the toilet, there's this square in front of it that has to be free so they can use it. That's the space we had. The toilet and the empty square, and then just walls around it. Oh my god, the bright. I'm sorry, I can't control the weather. In this apartment we had actually been upgraded to a queen-size bed. So still sharing, but at least this time you can kind of turn over. This apartment didn't come with a washing machine, so we would have to use the washing machine of the old lady living underneath this apartment on level 2. She was the mother of the guy we were renting from. So we would use their washing machine, and then, you know, you have to dry the clothes somehow. In the previous apartment we would just hang it all over the kitchen with the cockroaches. But now, first of all, there were no cockroaches, thank God. And we had a better option. As you can tell from the bed frame, it was the swirly type of metalwork bed frame, and we used that to hang our laundry. This created what we like to call stripper Christmas, where we would decorate our bed like a Christmas tree with panties and bras and other fun things. I mean, we did have people come over when we were celebrating stripper Christmas. In the end, our clothes got dry, so that's all that matters. God damn it, it's bright.
So we were going back to Sweden, but we knew we needed a new apartment for when we were coming back. So we talked to Joseph and Theo, you know those guys, and decided that the 4 of us were gonna live together. So we decided to go apartment hunting with Joseph, because Theo wasn't in Korea at the time. So we walked around Itaewon looking for apartments, and we found the perfect one. It was cheap, it was beautiful, it was newly renovated, and it had an oven. But they were gonna rent it out in December, and we were gonna move in January. So that beautiful apartment slipped through our fingers, and we had to keep looking. We didn't find anything while in Korea, so Joseph had to keep looking while we were in Sweden, and he would like send us pictures of different apartments that he would go see. And then he finally found the apartment that you've been seeing in our videos.
If you want a quick apartment tour, you can watch our trailer video.
Has anyone seen the trailer video nowadays? There is a trailer video, you can go watch that. Anyways, we moved in the end of January, and the plan was that Ida was gonna sleep on the couch. But then, after a while, Joseph decided to go back to London, and Ida got his room.
Yeah!
So that worked out in Ida's favor. The key money of this apartment was 3 million won, and the rent for each month was 1,400,000 won without utilities. That we split 4 ways. It was a fairly cheap apartment.
I mean, it's a big apartment, so...
Yeah.
And it's in Hongdae, which is also, you know,
Yeah.
better area,
Better
popular area.
It was a very good area actually. This apartment was completely fine, but certain things ended up popping up as we lived there. When we moved in, quite soon after we moved in, we got a very angry text message from our landlord saying, "You cannot flush anything down the toilet." And we were like, what? And they were like, no, you have to get a bin that you throw your tissue paper into.
Why are you telling us this after we lived here for a couple of weeks?
Why didn't you tell Joseph this when he was looking at the apartment?
Yeah, like a pretty important thing to mention when people are moving in. Oh, by the way, if you throw stuff in the toilet, it's gonna get clogged, you know?
It did get clogged and that's why they called us. However, that was not our fault, we later found out.
First, they were saying it was because we flushed toilet paper, and we were like, well, if that is the case, if that's the reason why it's clogged, then it's your fault for not telling us not to flush toilet paper. We were talking outside of this chat room, and we were like, I bet you someone in the basement flushed down a pad. Because there's guys living there, but they have girls over all the time.
They called the plumber, they checked the pipes, and yes, again, very angry message to us, you can absolutely not flush pads down the toilet.
And we were like, well, there's your proof. It wasn't us.
It ain't us. But no, they were convinced it was us because we were the ones with the girls in the apartment.
And we're like, well, you know, we don't use pads, and if we did, we wouldn't flush them.
We know better than that.
Anyways, they were like, well, next time this happens, you are gonna have to pay for it. And we're like, if this happens again, it's still not gonna be us.
Another interesting thing that happened in our apartment, or a few interesting events, were some paranormal experiences.
Yeah, this was kind of touched your face.
I got
blinded by the light. During last summer, all of us went back to Sweden for a while, and I was the first one to return. When I came back, it was hot as hell, so I got in the shower. I was showering in my cold water. I grabbed my towel that's been in the house since I left, and I started drying myself. As I do that, I notice there's hairs stuck to my body. Those long black hairs. Like, it was like the length of my hair, but all black. And I'm just looking at my towel, and it's covered in these long black hair strands.
It couldn't have been mine because my hair was about this short at the time.
And Theo and I are obviously blonde. Like, my towel has been in this house this entire time. I never like gave it to a friend of mine or anything that has dark, long hair. And it's been sitting there for a couple of weeks. As far as I know, untouched. And now all of a sudden I'm covered in this black hair. You know, I was all alone in this house, and I'm just like, someone's been here. And I just keep thinking of like The Grudge and like all these like Asian horror movies. I'm just like, I'm gonna die. And then a couple of nights later, when I'm just in my room sleeping, my door opens. Like, it's one of those twist handles, and it was closed. In the middle of night, I just suddenly wake up. I look over to my door, and I see it click and open. There is no one in the living room, and I'm just laying there, holding my blanket, staring at the door until the sun comes back on. All in all, though, compared to all of the apartments we've stayed at, this was probably the best one.
Yeah. So tell us in the comments below, where in Korea would you want to live, or where in Seoul would you want to be if you know where we are?
Or if you have been so
As usual, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we will see you in the next video.
Our first house was actually a dorm at our school. So we were sharing this one room which had a bunk bed and I will insert some pictures somewhere where it fits of what it looked like. We had our bunk beds, we had 2 closets, and then we had our desks.